Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go!
My older sister, 7 years my senior, had always been the dominant force in our family dynamic. From a young age, she displayed concerning behavior, pushing me downstairs, accidentally breaking my belongings, and constantly manipulating situations to make me look like the troublemaker to our parents. As we grew older, her behavior didn't improve. Instead, it evolved into more sophisticated forms of abuse. She would borrow money without repaying, manipulate family members against each other, and somehow always manage to paint herself as the victim. Despite all this, our parents seemed blind to her true nature, always making excuses for her behavior, saying she was just going through a tough time or that's just how she is. I spent years in therapy working through the trauma of our relationship and eventually managed to build a successful life for myself. I had a stable job, my own apartment, and had maintained minimal contact with her for the past few years. However, last summer, circumstances forced us to interact again. My car had been totaled in an accident, and I desperately needed a replacement. By chance, my sister was selling her car. Despite our history, I thought maybe we could handle one professional transaction like adults. The car was in good condition, and her asking price of $5,000 was fair for the model and year. When we met up to discuss the sale, I offered to pay her $3,800 in cash right away and send the remaining $1,200 through Zelle immediately after. She agreed but insisted on receiving the money before handing anything over. I thought this was fair and suggested we do the transaction at the bank to keep everything official. Several of our mutual friends were present during the transaction, as I had intentionally requested witnesses. I handed over the cash at the bank, sent the Zelle payment, and she gave me the keys. However, she kept making excuses about the title. She claimed she had left it at home and promised to mail it to me the next day. When I suggested we go get it right then, she said she had an appointment and assured me I'd have it by the end of the week. Days turned into weeks, and my sister became increasingly difficult to reach. Finally, when my car was damaged in a parking lot, things came to a head. The insurance company issued a check, but since the title was still in her name, it was made out to her. When I called her about it, the conversation took an unexpected turn. She denied that I had ever paid her for the car. When I reminded her about the $3,800 cash payment with witnesses present and showed proof of the $1,200 Zelle transfer, she changed her story. She then claimed I hadn't paid the full amount. After I mentioned having bank records and witnesses to prove otherwise, she simply said that since the title was in her name, technically, it was still her car. At this point, I'd had enough. I contacted a lawyer who specialized in property disputes. With the electronic records of the Zelle payment, multiple witness statements, and bank withdrawal records matching the cash amount, we had a solid case. The lawyer also discovered that my sister had pulled similar schemes with other people in the past. The legal process was straightforward. The judge was unimpressed with my sister's changing story and her history of similar behavior. The court ordered her to sign over the title within 48 hours or face steep fines and potential legal consequences. When she still refused to comply, the judge issued a judgment in my favor, allowing me to obtain a new title through the Department of Motor Vehicles. Additionally, she was ordered to pay my legal fees and a penalty for acting in bad faith. The insurance check she thought she could hold over my head had to be signed over to me immediately, along with interest for the delay. The judge also mandated that any future civil claims she might make would require her to post a bond first, given her history of frivolous legal maneuvers. Now, whenever mutual acquaintances tell me about her trying to pull similar schemes with them, I simply show them the court documents. Her reputation in our social circle is ruined, and she's finally facing real consequences for her manipulative behavior. Last I heard, she had to move to a different city because too many people in our hometown had become aware of her scams. I'm a mechanic and have been for the past 15 years. I specialize in classic car restoration, and I'm damn good at my job. My pride and joy is my 1969 Dodge Charger that I restored from scratch. It took me 3 years to get her running perfectly, and she purrs like a kitten. Not roars, purrs. I made sure the exhaust system was up to code and actually quieter than most modern cars. My workshop is about 5 blocks from my house, and I enjoy driving my Charger to work every day. The route takes me through a nice suburban area where most people wave and admire the car. Well, most people, except one specific woman who lives in the blue house on Cedar Street. The first time I encountered her was about 6 months ago. I was driving by her house like any other day when she suddenly sprinted out to the street, waving her arms like a maniac. She screamed at me to stop my car right that instant. I pulled over thinking maybe something was wrong with my car that I hadn't noticed. When I asked if everything was okay, she exploded, saying that everything was definitely not okay. She complained that my car was disturbing the neighborhood's peace and claimed she had a baby trying to sleep. I tried to explain that my car met all noise regulations and had been properly inspected, but she cut me off. She declared that she didn't care about inspections, bragged about living there for 20 years, and warned me that she wouldn't tolerate some wannabe racer disturbing their peace. She took off before I could explain further. I just shrugged it off and continued my commute, but that was just the beginning. Over the next few months, she would regularly try to flag me down. Sometimes she'd stand in her driveway with her phone out, presumably recording me. She even called the police twice, but both times they measured my car's noise levels and confirmed I was well within legal limits. The police officer actually pointed out to her that my vehicle was quieter than her own car. She refused to believe it, insisting that it must be a racing car because of how it looked. The officer had to explain to her that being a classic car didn't make it a racing car, and they couldn't do anything about it. She'd follow me in her car sometimes, tailgating me and honking. She even showed up at my workshop once. She accused me of thinking I was clever by getting the corrupt cops on my side. When I warned her that I'd been patient but would have to file a report if she kept harassing me, she ominously threatened to show me what real harassment was. That was 3 days ago. Yesterday morning, while driving to work, I noticed her standing in her front yard. Something felt off, but I kept driving at my usual speed. That's when I heard the first pop. At first, I thought it was my engine backfiring, but then I heard 2 more pops and felt my car swerving. She had shot my tires. This crazy woman had actually shot my tires with what I later found out was a small caliber pistol. I managed to control the car and stop safely. I immediately called 911 and to my surprise, one of my neighbors had already done the same after witnessing the whole thing. The police arrived within minutes. She started screaming at the police, claiming that I had been terrorizing the neighborhood and she was just protecting her property. She kept insisting her baby hadn't slept in months because of me. When the police ordered her to put down her weapon, she refused, demanding that I agree to stop driving what she called a monstrosity. That's when another officer revealed that the neighbors had provided security camera footage documenting her behavior for months. The officer also pointed out that her youngest child was actually 17 and away at college. They arrested her on multiple charges: attempted vehicular homicide, discharge of a firearm in city limits, harassment, and making false police reports. Turns out she had been filing complaints about me with the city council too, all under false pretenses. During her booking, they discovered she had an outstanding warrant from another state for similar harassment charges against the motorcycle club. She is now facing charges in 2 states. My insurance covered the damage to my car, and 3 different neighbors provided their security footage showing months of her harassment. Her husband showed up at my workshop the next day. He apologized profusely, explaining that she wasn't well and had been obsessing over noise ever since their kids left for college. He admitted he should have done something sooner. When I pointed out that she could have killed someone, he acknowledged this and told me she was finally getting help. He explained they were selling the house and moving closer to their kids once the legal situation was resolved. I still drive my Charger to work every day, but now I get even more waves from the neighbors. One of them even asked me to restore his old Mustang. The blue house is up for sale, and the neighborhood is peaceful again, just like it always was, even with my quiet classic car cruising through it. I'm a single mom of 3 kids, a 13-year-old daughter, and 2 younger ones who are 7 and 10. My eldest has always been passionate about collecting things, and about 3 years ago, she discovered Loungefly backpacks. It started with one bag featuring her favorite cartoon character, and before we knew it, it became her thing. Over the years, family members, friends, and even I have contributed to her collection. She's incredibly responsible with them, keeps them in perfect condition, and has even built quite a following on social media showing off her collection. Of course, I manage all her social media accounts and help her create content since she's still young. Everything was going fine until my sister started dating this new guy a few months ago. She's always been, let's say, financially irresponsible, always jumping from one expensive hobby to another, never really holding down a job for long. She's been doing better lately, and I'm proud of her recovery journey, but some of her old habits seem to be creeping back. Her new boyfriend has a 15-year-old daughter, and this is where the drama started. My sister called me one evening sounding extremely excited. She enthusiastically told me that she had discovered my daughter owned a limited edition princess backpack with a castle design. When I confirmed this was true and asked why she was asking, she explained that her boyfriend's daughter absolutely loved that character and had a birthday coming up. She mentioned seeing it selling for around $500 on eBay since it was discontinued and asked if we could give it to her. I was taken aback by her request. I explained that this was my daughter's bag and it meant a lot to her. My sister then argued that since my daughter had around 50 bags, she wouldn't even miss it and insisted it would mean so much to her boyfriend's daughter. I tried to compromise by offering to help purchase a different bag, suggesting we could split the cost. She refused, stating that her boyfriend's daughter specifically wanted that one bag. She then added a request about having the girl featured in my daughter's social media videos, mentioning the large following we had built. I declined, explaining that the social media accounts were my daughter's project and that even my other children understood they couldn't demand to be in her videos. My sister then accused us of being selfish and called both my daughter and me spoiled and bougie, claiming we didn't care about anyone else. When I pointed out that we'd never even met this girl and couldn't just give away valuable possessions or feature her on social media, my sister declared she would never ask me for anything again. The drama didn't end there. My sister took to social media posting about toxic family members and how some people hoard happiness. My mother, who typically stays neutral in our disagreements, intervened this time. My mother told my sister that this had gone too far and that she needed to apologize to me and my daughter. My sister responded by claiming we were bullying her and her boyfriend's daughter and accused us of flaunting our wealth and being cruel. My mother calmly pointed out that nobody was bullying anyone and that my sister was making unreasonable demands about a child's possessions and social media presence. Instead of apologizing, my sister doubled down and started posting more dramatic content about being excluded from the family. The irony, she's the one who blocked all of us on every platform. A week later, my mother told me that my sister's boyfriend broke up with her. Apparently, when he found out about the drama she was causing over a backpack, he realized she wasn't as recovered as she claimed to be. His daughter had never even mentioned wanting the bag. It was all my sister trying to impress them. My daughter's social media following actually grew after this incident because some of my sister's followers came to check out her content and ended up staying for the genuine drama-free backpack content. I'm a 16-year-old girl, and my dad passed away when I was younger. It was just my mom and me for years, and we were doing okay. Things changed 3 years ago when my mom started dating this guy who would later become her husband. I didn't mind them dating. My mom deserved to be happy, and he seemed nice enough at first. The problem started in February, about 3 years ago. They sat me down for what they called a family meeting before moving in together. Looking back, I should have seen the red flags when they already called us a family before even living under the same roof. They started by telling me they wanted to discuss something important. They were thinking about moving in together. Her husband chimed in, claiming they really wanted this to work and that my opinion mattered to them. My mom then went on about how wonderful it would be to have a man around the house again, suggesting I'd have a dad again and she'd have a husband, making us a proper family. Her husband jumped in, expressing his excitement about always wanting to be a dad and already having plans for us, specifically mentioning his ideas for Father's Day. I remember feeling my stomach twist into knots. They were sitting there with these huge smiles on their faces, like they were giving me the best news ever, but they weren't really asking me. They were telling me what was going to happen and expecting me to jump for joy. I decided to be honest with them. I told them I wasn't okay with this arrangement, explaining that I didn't want another dad. I made it clear that even though my dad was gone, he was still my only dad, and I wouldn't be celebrating Father's Day with anyone else. They just laughed, like I had told some cute joke. They completely dismissed everything I said and went ahead with their plans anyway. They got married 2 months after moving in together, and every Father's Day since then has been a nightmare. This year's Father's Day was the breaking point. I did what I always do, spent the day alone remembering my dad. But my stepdad completely lost it. He went on a rant about how patient he'd been for 3 years, complaining that he didn't sign up to be treated like he didn't exist, and insisted that I was supposed to be with him on Father's Day. That tantrum led to us starting group therapy at the end of July. They insisted we needed to work on why I wouldn't let us be the family they wanted. Like somehow I'm the problem here. Things really blew up in therapy by the end of August. My mom completely lost it during one session. She accused me of lying, claiming I had promised to develop a close relationship with her husband. She insisted that I had said I wanted to be a family and would give him Father's Day. She accused me of trying to destroy her marriage. I defended myself, telling her that wasn't true and reminding her that I had explicitly told them both that I didn't want another dad. She just yelled at me to shut up and called me a liar again. When the therapist tried to give me a chance to express my feelings about being called a liar, my mom turned on her too, telling her to shut up and accusing her of letting me be vicious. The therapist has completely lost control of our sessions. My mom and stepdad just dominate everything, talking over everyone, making demands, and twisting everything that happened. So I started checking out mentally during sessions. I'd just sit there and zone out completely. It took them 2 weeks to even notice I wasn't participating. When they called me out on it last week, I finally spoke up after over a month of silence. The therapist asked why I wasn't engaging in our sessions. I explained that I was done participating until I got an apology for being called a liar, stating that I had told the truth from the beginning and was tired of being painted as the bad guy for not wanting to replace my dad. My mom dismissed it as ridiculous, complaining that I was wasting everyone's time and money. My stepdad joined in, claiming they were trying to fix this family while I just sat there. I challenged them about what family they were talking about, pointing out how they had forced it on me after ignoring what I actually said, and how they laughed off my feelings only to get angry when I didn't play along with their fantasy. That's when I dropped the bomb I'd been holding on to. I revealed that I had been recording our conversations since that first day they asked about moving in together. I told them I had proof of exactly what I said and how they both laughed it off, and asked if they wanted me to play it for the therapist. My mom turned pale, and my stepdad started sputtering. The therapist showed immediate interest, saying she thought it would be very enlightening for everyone. My mom could barely speak, only managing to ask if I had really recorded them. I confirmed that I had, explaining that I knew something like this would happen and that they'd tried to twist my words around. I gave them the choice: hear the recording or apologize first. The silence in that room was deafening. Finally, my mom burst into tears. Not the manipulative ones she usually uses, but real ones. My stepdad just stared at the floor. That recording was their worst nightmare. Proof that they had ignored my boundaries from the very beginning and tried to gaslight me about it later. The therapy sessions are on hold now. My mom actually apologized, though I'm not sure if it was sincere or just because she got caught. My stepdad still won't speak to me, but honestly, that's an improvement. I'm looking into individual therapy for myself now, and I've made it clear that any future relationship with them will be on my terms, not theirs. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.